using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But like his core personality and his way.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. Floyd.
Terence Crawford has officially answered Floyd Mayweather's challenge for a 2026 showdown, and his response was all positive. He's ready to settle once and for all who truly deserves the title of the greatest. Despite being more than a decade older, it was Mayweather who sparked the idea, reportedly frustrated by constant comparisons from fans between his legendary career and Crawford's current dominance.
Played the part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
What do you want to see?
In a post-fight interview, Crawford was asked about fans calling for a showdown with Floyd Mayweather, especially now that Floyd himself wants it. Crawford didn't hesitate, saying, "If Floyd wants to fight me, it's great money and a chance to face one of the all-time greats. So I'm in."
I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight...
Mayweather's call-out of Crawford wasn't just a response to fan pressure. It was fueled by comments from two of his former opponents who claimed Crawford is the better fighter. For a legend with an undefeated record, that hit a nerve. Along with Canelo Alvarez, former world champion Shane Mosley, who lost to Mayweather on points 15 years ago, also voiced the same opinion, adding to the sting for Floyd.
When I looked at it, he came out in the southpaw stance and he took Canelo's jab away from him. As you know, if you take a fighter's jab away from them, then it's hard for them to really land. You force them to use one shot, and he forced them to use his backhand, his rear hand. Crawford was ready for the loop in the right hands.
Speaking to Fight Hub TV, Shane Mosley made a bold statement, saying he believes Terence "Bud" Crawford is actually better than Floyd Mayweather, though he still gave credit to his former rival's talent. "I think Crawford is better. He's bigger, he's moving up in weight, and overall, he's a more complete fighter," Mosley said. "Mayweather's really good, too. You can't take that away from him. He's very skilled. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge because of his reach and size."
Who think's better out of those two? Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around.
Fans and boxing experts worldwide are now debating whether Terence "Bud" Crawford deserves to be called the greatest fighter of all time after his historic win over Canelo Alvarez, a victory that put the 37-year-old back on top of the pound-for-pound rankings. Before their fight, Canelo had already hinted that he rated Crawford highly, but after his defeat, he made it crystal clear, telling reporters at the post-fight press conference, "I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather."
If you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Canelo's comment carried extra weight, coming from someone who has faced both Crawford and Mayweather in the ring. His willingness to make such a bold statement right after losing showed either remarkable sportsmanship or genuine belief in Crawford's superiority. The remark immediately set off debate across the boxing world. Some praised Crawford's fearlessness in moving up weight classes to fight top opponents, while others defended Mayweather's flawless record and legendary resume. Speaking on the Ariel Helwani show *, Crawford addressed Canelo's words directly, saying, "Canelo was in the ring with both of us," implying that Alvarez's opinion comes from first-hand experience.
Feel to hear that from someone like him.
I just was like, well, it's his personal opinion. He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. One where he felt like he was at the best.
He was ready for the body shots. Occasionally the straight right hand to the body would land for Canelo. But, sooner or later, Crawford started getting out of the way of that as well by just pivoting, on an angle and, making Canelo reach. There were spots inside the ring that I saw.
In the end, The debate is bound to continue since it all comes down to personal opinion. What's undeniable is that both fighters remain undefeated, at least for now in Crawford's case, have dominated across multiple weight divisions, and will be remembered as two of the greatest American boxers in the history of the sport. Still, the real discussion lies in how each built their unbeaten legacy, a point current fighter Ryan Garcia raised during a September 10th segment of Ring Magazine's Inside the Ring show.
You know, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, you know, I don't know, you know, I don't go off of that. You know, Floyd is the best fighter, you know, in his era.
During a discussion about Max Kellerman's belief that Manny Pacquiao should rank above Floyd Mayweather on the pound-for-pound list, after ESPN placed Floyd first and Pacquiao second, Ryan Garcia didn't hold back. Reacting to former NFL player LeSean McCoy's claim that nobody has changed the game like Floyd Money Mayweather, Garcia fired back in a bad way. He went on to explain that Mayweather perfected the strategy of picking the right opponents at the right time. He's the best at making money and big fights happen, Garcia said, but that's because he timed every single one of them. He never fought anyone truly in their prime after junior lightweight. He changed the game in the worst way possible. Now everyone's trying to protect that zero on their record.
Changed the game like Floyd Money Mayweather.
He mastered the art of knowing when to fight somebody and when not to fight somebody. I mean, he's the best in that game. He's the best in, you know, making money and making all the, you know, the huge fights happen. But why? Because he was timing every single one of them. He never fought nobody really in their prime. He always
after junior lightweight. Junior lightweight.
He changed the game in the worst way possible. You're right. Everybody's trying to protect their own. I had
a lot of the stuff that Canelo was doing. And, you know, that I would say this, that work from Boots helped in that aspect because Canelo was reacting to a lot of the counters that Crawford was throwing. Usually in the past, you know, Canelo would stand right there. He would lunge and he would stay in place, keep his feet in place. However,
Crawford's recent achievements have reignited questions about boxing's all-time hierarchy, and the timing couldn't be more fitting as he hits the peak of his career while still competing at an elite level. On his show Inside the Ring, veteran analyst Max Kellerman weighed in on the Crawford versus Mayweather debate, drawing from decades of boxing insight. He acknowledged that Mayweather holds clear advantages in certain areas: his deeper resume, exceptional defensive mastery, and superior hand speed, all key factors that helped cement Floyd as one of the most dominant champions the sport has ever seen.
Like, if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight.
However, Kellerman noted that after moving past the lightweight division, Mayweather became more selective with his opponents, often choosing the perfect moments to face dangerous fighters when the timing favored him most.
I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways.
This strategic approach helped Mayweather protect his undefeated record, but also raised doubts about whether he truly faced every top opponent in their prime. Kellerman contrasted that with Crawford's fearless attitude, noting how he's consistently taken on all challengers without hesitation, a mindset that earns him a different kind of respect from both fans and fighters.
We've had a lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that
Yes,
fight.
sir. I
Floyd
love you, Terrence.
always figures it out.
Yeah.
Kellerman explained that while Mayweather's resume is far deeper than Crawford's, and Floyd had the edge in speed, defense, and technical mastery, he became very careful about when he faced opponents after leaving lightweight. Crawford, by contrast, has shown a willingness to fight anyone, even if his resume isn't as stacked, and that attitude makes a real impression on fans. The analyst went further, comparing Crawford to icons like Sugar Ray Robinson and Roy Jones Jr., suggesting that Crawford has now reached a level of respect among his peers that goes beyond records and stats, placing him in the conversation with the sport's true legends. When asked who would win a fight between them, the response was clear: Floyd. Floyd would win that fight. He always figures it out. Despite the constant comparisons between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Terence "Bud" Crawford, Crawford has never disrespected the undefeated legend. In fact, he's shown nothing but appreciation for Mayweather's accomplishments. When asked about their similarities, Crawford humbly replied, "He's the king," giving full credit to Floyd's greatness.
Excuse me, Crawford.
You know, right now, but earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So, you know, it just depends on which Floyd Mayweather you talk about. Do you talk about money or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was the seek and destroy.
Crawford went on to say, "We have a lot in common in some ways, but we're also different because I take more risks." Early in his career, Floyd took plenty of chances too. It just depends on which version of Mayweather you're talking about. Are you talking about Money Mayweather or Pretty Boy Mayweather? Because Pretty Boy was a seek and destroy fighter. Then he started dealing with hand injuries, so he couldn't maintain that same power as he moved up to fight bigger opponents.
He's got a reach from the left hooks again. He's a lightning hand speed extraordinary. Left hook drops him, and then he hit his head off the en masse here at the engine.
As Crawford pointed out, Pretty Boy Floyd was the more aggressive version, always pressing the action, while Money Mayweather later became the ultimate tactician, outthinking and outscoring his opponents with pure boxing brilliance. No matter which style fans prefer, both eras helped shape the legend of Floyd Mayweather Jr. On the other hand, many boxing fans are still amazed by what Crawford did to Errol Spence in their recent showdown, a performance that solidified his place among the sport's elite.
He drops him again. That's a hard knockdown that time with the left hook. How about that? Keeps battling, falling forward. Uppercut. Terence Crawford has stopped Yuri.
Whether it was the power jab that snapped through Spence's guard, his sharp timing, or his ability to punch cleanly in close range, Crawford showed masterful boxing skill. It wasn't the first time he's displayed that level of precision, but doing it against an elite like Spence was special. When it comes to pure boxing talent, Mayweather arguably still stands alone, yet Crawford's style is different, controlled, explosive, and just as effective. If the two met in their primes, it would be a true chess match of skill and timing. With both excelling in their own way, calling it a draw feels fair. Countless times, we've seen Mayweather draw his opponents into the center of the ring, study their movements, and methodically break them down. His unmatched ring IQ and commitment to the hit and don't get hit philosophy carried him to the Hall of Fame as an undefeated 5-division world champion. Similarly, Crawford, having become the undisputed champion at both junior welterweight and welterweight, has consistently demonstrated his own brilliant ring intelligence throughout his career.
We had a lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who would win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd would win that
Yes,
fight.
sir. I love you, Terrence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah.
Who would win that fight? Floyd would win that fight. Yes, sir. I love you. He always figures it out. Indeed, Mayweather displayed incredible hand speed, particularly in his counterpunching. However, Crawford's sharp angles and whipping combinations give Bud the edge in overall speed. Out of Mayweather's 50 career victories, 27 came by knockout, compared to Crawford's 40 wins with an impressive 31 knockouts, and he's still active. Adding to that, Crawford's recent masterclass against Spence, where he dropped him 3 times en route to a dominant 9th-round TKO, further underscores his explosive power and precision.
You want to hook from the hips. So when you hook, boom, this toe gonna go up and this one gonna go down. So you hear and it's gonna go boom. So you can do a 45 or you can do straight. You come straight from the shoulders. Boom. Open it up a little bit. Bam. But get that, there you go. So, yeah. So you want to come, everything you do, you want to come from the shoulders. Boom. Just turn it. When you coming in there, you hear, boom. And that's where that torque gonna come from. The hips, your legs.
Dominating a power-punching, body-snatching fighter like Spence, who systematically broke down Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Yadinis Ugas to become the unified world welterweight champion, was anything but easy. Yet Crawford made it look effortless, with his power playing a major role in that dominance. Mayweather, on the other hand, often found himself painted into corners, raising that signature shoulder into the Philly shell, absorbing shots with his arms, and firing back with precise counters. Defensive boxing at its absolute finest. Crawford certainly possesses slick defensive skills of his own, but Mayweather elevated the art of defense to a near-perfect science.
And that challenge for him pushed him even harder to train harder and to be better. That challenge, went up against Canelo, moving up 2 divisions, hearing that people are saying, oh, he didn't look too good against Madrimov, so how could he look good at 68? Well, that motivated more, man. He trained hard. In
a dream scenario, how would a showdown between Crawford and a prime Mayweather actually unfold? And who would emerge victorious? After a tense opening round where both fighters cautiously study one another, Crawford likely takes the initiative early, staying busier and throwing more combinations, even if many of his punches glance off Mayweather's famed shoulder roll and tight guard. As the fight settles into the middle rounds, Mayweather's rhythm and timing begin to take over. He starts landing sharp jabs and crisp counters, methodically banking rounds with his trademark precision and control.
Look at this, it's unbelievable. You young boxing fans that are watching Floyd Mayweather, you've seen one of the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I mean, that's how strong. If you're wearing, then he's nowhere. You think you. And again, it's not just hand quickness; it's the movement of the head, the way he rolls with punches. Look at the way he makes it miss. I mean, here we go. Do a series of punches and nothing really landed. Terrific fighter. Well, Mayweather. All right.
Yet with his constant flow of pressure, Crawford's firepower could eventually break through Mayweather's defenses, perhaps even hurting the legend at moments. As close as this matchup would be, Crawford's relentless fighting ability and those whiplashing punches might just sway the judges in his favor, earning him a narrow points victory based on pressure and volume over Mayweather's brand of calculated precision. And while Terence Crawford remained humble following his career-defining win over Canelo Alvarez on Saturday to become the undisputed champion, the boxing world refuses to let the debates surrounding his historical greatness fade away so easily.
He needs to rematch. If I'm Canelo, I want to rematch Terence Crawford. He got schooled, bro. He got outboxed by Terence Crawford. And I know that he's itching to get that one back. The first time he fought Triple G, and he came back the second time, and he legit beat Triple G.
Once in a lifetime fight. It doesn't need to be a rematch. I think Bud would do worse the next fight.
A fight that many believed would determine the best boxer of the post-Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao era. Crawford seemed to deliver exactly that. Apologies to Alexander Usyk and Naoya Inoue. With his latest triumph, he became just the 6th male boxer in history to claim titles across 5 divisions, and the first in the 4-belt era to become undisputed champion in 3 of them. His victory over Alvarez, boxing's biggest star of the past decade and the pound-for-pound king as recently as 2022, not only elevated Crawford into a higher financial bracket, but, more importantly, cemented his place among the sport's all-time greats.
Work on what you need to work on. Put your head down and grind. You get results like this.
I noticed that when I was watching the fight that Terence Crawford specifically, whichever side that Canelo threw at him, Terence would respond with a shot from that side as well. Did you see that in the tape that you watched of Canelo as a weakness, where he was vulnerable to shots at the same side that he threw?
Well, if you go back and look at the fight, you can hear us in the corner saying,
But when asked whether he had matched Mayweather's accomplishments, Crawford dismissed the comparison entirely, saying, "Listen, Floyd was the greatest of his era, and I'm the greatest of mine. There's no need to compare." However, the debate reignited barely 15 minutes later when Alvarez, gracious in defeat and full of respect for Crawford, was asked which fighter he believed was better. given that he had suffered his first professional loss to a 36-year-old Mayweather back in 2013.
A little worse than that, because that style of fight, I don't think he beats someone like Terence Crawford. But if I'm Terence Crawford, of course I'll fight him again. But this time, I'm the A side. I think Terence Crawford is going to be more confident next time, knowing that I can punch with this guy. I can take his shot. I'm faster.
He fought Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
He didn't do what the last two did.
Crawford deserves all the credit. I gave everything I had tonight, but just couldn't figure out his style. He had it all, Alvarez admitted. I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather. Until the real fight happens, the debate will continue. And that's all for now. For the best updates on boxing news, moments, events, and highlights, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on quality content like this.